Yo, what's up? It's your boy Sirr of the 2020 Podcast LLC. You know what it is. And I've got my compatriots again, Squad. You know what it is. So we're here today to discuss a serious topic, marriage. Now, Wyatt had an interesting question that he posed to me after our last session, which will be out this week. And I wanted to allow him room and the ground to bring it up. So Wyatt, floor is yours, bro.
Yeah, so I'm divorced, but I thought to myself, like, is it just okay to marry for just love, or do you need more? You know what I mean? Because I think that there should be more components to it now, because beforehand I used to think, now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? You know what I mean? So but now I just want to try to get everybody else's opinions, thinking whether or not, you can marry for something besides just love. Like, if you can come up with a goal of, hey, I want to be with somebody. And it kind of falls into that same, in recent topics about like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, how they had talked about sometimes that they fell out of love, but they're still partners. So, can that still be a successful, relationship, depending on how you see things and how things, and what do you want out of life? So that was my question that I posed to the group.
The doors of the church are now open.
Giving honor to God, and who is the head of my life. All things that are good and perfect in him. Amen. Hallelujah. I look at myself for an example, and I'm gonna say it like White said. I am divorced, and so if I go back all the way back to 2012 when I proposed, it was from a point of this person came into my life, everything changed for the better, and I don't see myself being with anybody else or having to start that process all over. It wasn't for money, because neither one of us were like balling rich, you know what I'm saying? So money wasn't a factor. It was that determination, like, hey, you came in my life, you changed me for the better. I like you. I like everything about you. Of course, there's still more I'm going to learn about you, and vice versa. So it was more than love. It was the attributes that came with it. I became a better person. I started doing things differently. I became more successful, because when you add, you got one person that can do math and one person that's good at history or any other subject. You can just throw it as an example and put the two together. You can make something out of it, because as they always say, the phrase, it takes two. So that person that I was with, adding me to it, became something once it became one. So it's like, together we can form Voltron, but not for real. But yeah, that's how I felt about it. It wasn't just all for love. It was the attributes that came with the relationship. I became a better person. I was more happier, all that good stuff. So yeah, that's me.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hello. Oh, okay. All right. So first of all, I'm just going to put this out there. I am not married. I have never been married. I'm not engaged. I'm not anything. So do what you will with this opinion, because I know some people don't like to listen to some people because they don't have that type of experience. But from what I learned so far is that you're going to definitely need more than just love in a marriage. Most people, their goal is only the wedding anyway. So they're not really trying to go through the stuff that you have to go through when you're in a marriage. I remember talking to my oldest brother, and he told me that you have to marry for more than love. He said that he married his wife because he looked at her as a business partner, because she has a lot of attributes that she contributes as well as he. So, both of them together have more. I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Okay, y'all. You know what? I'm sorry. Oh my god. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm driving, and there was an accident just happened in front of me, and I almost just got into an accident. And okay, anyway, I'm sorry. Oh wow, okay, it's crazy. Okay, so, and then I'm sitting here with the phone in my face. I'm sorry. Okay, so as I was saying, love is a great thing to have. Honestly, like it's a really great thing to have, but you're gonna end up falling out of love, and you gotta fall back in love. Like if you guys ever heard about the saying about you have to rekindle your marriage or renewing your vows or like stuff like that or whatever, just to kind of bring that unity back that was there before, because just like what Wyatt said with Will and Jada, like, yeah, they fall out of love and they come back in there together, but they're partners because they have more than just one thing that they're able to lean back on. Because if the love kind of goes away, then what else do you have? It's like, okay, so why did I get married? So you're sitting here like, I got married because of love. You fall out of love, you go ahead and you get a divorce, and now you trying to start over again. So before you even get into the marrying process, you also have to talk about what you guys have to offer, put all of this stuff out on the table so everybody can understand that, like, the reason why we're getting married is because of all of this stuff on the table. And so if one thing doesn't work out, then we still have more, then we still have more, then we still have more, which is how some people are actually able to stay friends after divorce or after breaking up or like, anything like that, because they were friends before they got together, or like, they came together and had this understanding of, like, maybe this isn't going to work out because we have nothing else except for love. So for my opinion, I just feel that you have to have more, because just like in a relationship, you have different parts of it. You have sex, you have communication, you have like, all of this stuff that you're bringing or whatever, which is the same for marriage. So if you don't have certain attributes that's going to keep it running, then what are you going to do except for get divorced? So if you're just going to marry for love, then honestly, I feel that you're just going to just marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce, marry, divorce, because you always have that honeymoon phase. And that honeymoon phase is going to be there, but it's only temporary. So you're going to have to get past that honeymoon phase and get to the nitty gritty, because some people like to quit there too, because the one attribute that they don't have is patience or, communication, willingness to talk or learn or understand, and like, things like that. So if you don't have that, then of course it's not going to last, because all you had was just that honeymoon phase that you were just so happy about. So you have to make sure that your marriage is balanced, your relationship is balanced with everything, so that, like, you do have your reason for staying. That's it. Okay.
That was a good, valid point. I think that's a good basis to have as far as multiple things. I'm gonna go in a different route with this question. I think love is probably should be in your top 3. It's just I've seen love get people fucked up. Love can make you make bad decisions. I feel like if you're gonna have something as strong as marriage, it needs to be based on something solid. And like Katie was saying, emotions are fleeting. They're not. You can't spend love. You can't use love. Love is just an intangible feeling. If you want to be technical, is a chemical reaction. If you want to be real. So with that being said, I've always gave the analogy of this. I choose stability every single time, and I will. And I stand by it. I'll give this analogy, and I'll let Kara go because I think I interrupted Kara. You have 2 separate cars, right? You have one car that you love because you've known it forever. You've had plenty of memories of good times with this car, but it's faulty. It's just not a sure thing. It sometimes doesn't work when it needs to. It sometimes isn't just reliable like it should be. You have this other car that is stable. For a fact it can get from point A to point B no matter what, because it made plans, it's been taken care of, it's healthy, everything is in order. If I got to go from Mobile to Memphis, Tennessee, which car am I going to take? You feel me? So that's the way I look at it. You feel me? So yeah, that's my point.
All right. Yeah, I'm a part of the divorce club too. I didn't know so many people were divorced. So, hey, love and marriage is a beautiful thing, right? It's beautiful. But I think sometimes we get into marriage and not realizing everything that goes into it. So we get, like she said earlier, we get so excited with the wedding and the love, but then you have to think about it. Once the honeymoon is over and you have real issues that come up, financial is a big one when money comes in, inadequacies, things like that. You're looking for someone who's going to be able to support you, in those inadequacies, in those feelings that, you don't think that you're going to be able to make it through. So if we're not stable, then this marriage is not going to work. So love is great, and it should be in the top 3, but you need stability. I need to be able to make sure that I can depend on you. So if I can't depend on you and you can't leave me, then this marriage is not going to work. So love is good, but it's not the only thing that makes the marriage work.
Yeah, I agree with everybody, especially if we have like a list of top 3 to 5 things that are important. Like now, beforehand, I think love was like my number 1 reason, but then now that kind of going through some of the things that I've gone through before, like it's in my top 5 now. I mean, but as far as it being number 1, I mean, it's not. It is important, but what I mean? You can be able to find somebody that has the same qualities that you love about one person, but have other qualities that you need to have in a relationship and with a partner. And so that was one of the things, that was kind of what posed the question for me, was like, do you need to be all the way in love with someone to be able to have that kind of long lasting relationship? Because you can have other qualities that go through, and you can be able to, as long as there are other qualities that you need in a relationship, like communication, consistency and things like that, what you can be able to do. Because a lot of times with love and marriage comes other responsibilities, and, not to even get into the fact that, sometimes there's even kids involved. So, you know what I mean? You want to be able to show stability in a relationship, and even as a parent, and what kind of qualities you want as a parent for that person to see, because you're setting up a blueprint for your kids on what they need to be looking like, or what they need to look for in their partners, and how they need to communicate with other people.
Well said. I can't even co-sign it. Anybody else got a point? Go ahead, Buck. It's on you, brother.
There we go. So assets, not liability. That's the way I look at marriage. Marriage is a business. If it wasn't a business, there would be no need for prenups. That's the way that I've always looked at it. Love cannot make a marriage survive. It can't. It's like the 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s. No. Even when they talk about, love existed, we already talked about grandpa had a family on the other side of town. You know what I'm saying? Love cannot sustain marriage alone. I know a lot of people who say, oh, well, you can grow together in marriage. I can grow together without marriage. It is literally a piece of paper. It is a certificate. And everybody's like, no, you are confessing your love and professing your love in front of God and family and friends. And yeah. I get that. A marriage license is a contract. We use contracts in business. So I've always been, she said earlier, a lot of people look forward to the wedding and not the marriage itself. And I fully believe that. More people care about the pomp and circumstance of getting married than the actual marriage itself. I get fussed at all the time because I don't care about a wedding. I don't care about a wedding. I am not married. I have not been divorced. I am not engaged, but I have been in a long-term relationship. And I think a lot of my early opinions on marriage came from working in the jewelry industry for so long, because I watched kids who thought they were in love come spend $3, 4, $5,000 on a ring and then try to return it 6 months later because somebody cheated or got mad or got upset or they broke up. It's like because you're kids. That's why. You don't have enough life experience to go through that. And I have at least 6 friends I can think of off the top of my head that were married and divorced before they turned 30. And so, but I'm thinking about, when I think about marriage, I think you can't get married off of love alone, period. You could talk about being top three and that's cool, but I'm like you, sir, stability first and foremost. And that's why I say assets, not liability. We need a helpmate, not someone that's going to contribute to the detriment of the household. So, I mean, that's my take on it. So,
Lacey, baby, you got something for us? Yeah, you over there with your head wrapping on. Yes, ma'am. Hold on. We got to unmute you. Hold on. You can't be out here just talking without no volume, girl. Hold on. There you go.
Okay. So yeah, I'm also a part of the Married and Divorced Before 30 Club. And what I've learned, I didn't have a wedding. We got married at the courthouse with my son on the table in a car seat. But that saved a lot of time and a lot of money, but it saved me a lot of connection because, when people do the whole shenanigan with the wedding and everything, they feel committed to not just the relationship, but everybody that came, the parents, all that kind of stuff. So I never experienced that, but I'm happy I didn't, because what I learned while I was married was, like DeAndre was saying, it's a contract, yes, because it's really hard to get out of that. Once you have mentally left, it's still hard to get out of that because it's a contract. So when you get married, I feel like it's, you already done professed your love for somebody before y'all get married. So doing it in front of everyone is not changing anything. I just feel like when you get married, you got to be able to commit to the ups and the downs. And I think the downs is what make a lot of marriages fail, because they're not prepared for the downs. Because when y'all was just dating or thought you wanted to get married, you didn't experience any downs together. All you experienced was the highs. Like, that was it.
straight up.
And so when you get married, it's kind of like, oh no, we're about to get evicted. Oh God, well, gotta go. Like, it's not. You don't know how that feels. You know what I'm saying? Because you just doing happy, fun stuff with somebody that you think you know and you think you love the whole time, and then when you get married, you sign your name on this paper before the wedding, because technically you're married before the wedding, but you sign your name on all of that, and you lock in to the ups and the downs. So when you get married, I think, everybody's not a go-getter type person. So yeah, you are marrying somebody, for the potential, and, having goals and wanting to do things together, build businesses, whatever you're doing, that's cool to get married too, but you got to be able to understand that person that you married is still a regular person. So you might have thought, oh, this is Superman, I'm marrying Superman. But when Superman get tired, you just gonna dip. Or if Superwoman get tired, you just gonna dip. That's what people not equipped for in marriages. I don't think it has nothing to do with, where do we see each other or see our marriage in 10 years. I don't think that's it. I think the day-to-day struggle is what ends marriages, because they're not equipped for it. Like DeAndre was saying, these 15, 16, 17-year-old whatever coming there and buying a ring, all they know is that, I enjoy going to the movies with this person, or my mom likes this person. But you don't know what this person, how they'll handle things under pressure, whatever it is. All of that is factored in, because if, for example, if me and DeAndre was married and when he gets angry, he likes to throw stuff. Not at me, but he likes to throw stuff. If I'm like, oh, I don't want to be with nobody like to throw stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just going to leave, but instead of saying, okay, well, why do you like to throw stuff? What kind of person are you? Let's work through this together. People don't do that. They don't do that. They just run when, something get bad. They get the first eviction notice, they going to leave. The first time you can't buy a can of milk for your newborn, you're gonna leave. Like I think a lot of that is just like how people were raised and things like that. So yeah, before you get married, that's something people do need to, grasp a hold of, but people don't do that. So I think when you do get married, you do have to have more than just love, because you already know you love somebody. That's why you think about wanting to be with them forever. But when you get married, I think, again, you got to marry for more than that. It's got to be, like that whole cliche statement of ride or die. That's a real statement. Everybody want that, but don't nobody want to ride. Everybody want to ride or die, but don't nobody want to ride. They actually don't want to get in there and ride. So that's kind of, if you don't want to do that, then I don't think marriage is for whoever is considering that. You gotta do that. I can say from my own personal experience, that's what ruined my marriage. You know what I mean? Like I'm transparent as I can be. And it's because you think you know people you really don't. So you definitely got to make sure you got that under control. It's not just love. It's not just love at all. Because you already know you love somebody months, years, days, whatever, before you go and walk down the aisle with all the shenanigans on. You know that already.
Lauren, did you have any input on this? Because I didn't want to jump in and say something to turn the table before we went any forward.
Sorry, I got a little grease on my face. I don't know if I want to put on my camera. I'll eat some chicken. Okay. Hey guys, so I'm a part of the married club. I'm not divorced. And I am before I'm 29, and I got married in December of last year, so it's like fresh. I'm like 7 months in. So I did not marry for love. I'm not gonna say that I married for love. I love my husband. I was in love with him when I first met him, but I was not in love with him once we crossed that bridge or whatever, once we signed the contract, quote unquote. I married for the stability. I married because my husband is a provider. I married because my husband has been there for us, our kids. I married for all of that. I married because a man found me without me looking and accepted me for me. You see what I'm saying? Some people marry for like the big wedding and stuff. We didn't have a wedding. I want a house. That's what I want. I didn't marry for, I married because I told him I want a new car and I want a new house. He got it. You know what I'm saying? So right now we working on our house. I didn't marry for the big stuff. I don't like people in my business. I don't like people for show. So I'm a very private person. So the wedding for me was going to be in my backyard with like close people so we can just drink, and have a real party. Like that was a big thing for me. As far as the whole contract thing, I look at it just like y'all. I was telling him the other day, I'm like, look, we in this. So you either going to do this or you either going to do that. So I know for me, oftentimes I was a runner. I'm one of those people who be like, oh, okay, we in this, and if you do something that I ain't really vibing with, I'm gone. It's too many people in the world. I feel like it's too many men, too many fish in the sea for me to be tripping on one guy. So for me, that's something I had to learn to stop doing before we even got in the thing, and oftentimes I think the thing that's making our marriage stronger is we learned to talk before. We did marriage counseling before. A lot of people don't believe in it. We learned to really talk, and a lot of stuff had to come out before we even, quote unquote, sign those papers. And for me, I think love was probably like number 6. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, so I'm married for love. No. Even when he proposed, I was like still in shock, like, yo, I'm engaged. What's going on? And then I was like, wait, Lord, I done signed a damn paper. Lord, I ain't got to change my name, do it. I ain't giving that up, So that's still me to this day. I'm like, hell nah, he not taking, I'm not getting his last name yet, I ain't ready to take on what he got, So, but that's something that I have to get to. Like, I went from being in college to being a mommy to being a wife. So I didn't get that independence. So that's something that I battled with at the beginning, like very, very beginning, even when we started a relationship, because I like my freedom. I don't like nobody in my space. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm one of those people, like, I already got to share my damn bed when my kids get in the bed. I didn't want him in the bed. So these are things that I had to get, used to, because I like my space. You feel me? So like I said, I love him and he means the world to me. But I know for me, I married because I didn't want to be that person again. Like, it's all fine and dandy when you like the single mom and stuff, but that shit hard. So when I have somebody that come in and just really authentic and real and love me for me, and then he accepted my child, you know what I'm saying? That was something for me. I was like, okay, that was my narrative. You know what I'm saying? Most people, like you said, they want the wedding, the big shebang. I ain't care about none of that. I wanted the nitty gritty. I needed to know if he was going to ride with me, if we had to go to this WIC appointment, if we had to go to every, the doctors. I needed to know if I got sick that you would be able to help me or take care of me and my family. Or our family. So that was a big thing for me.
You see, the thing is, like how y'all been saying, everybody wants that, the scene is set, everybody sitting in nice looking clothes, everybody lined up at the altar, and the person like, silhouette from a perfect friend, and the girl walk down the aisle. You know what I'm saying? That's all fine and it's all cute and everything, but as I've gone, y'all like my singing voice, I know. But as I've gone through life and went through my divorce, it's a whole different ball game. It's like, what do you bring? You know what I'm saying? What do you bring to this table here? This is a table. What can you put on it? What can you put on it to make the table full? And it gave me a different perspective on life, So, like, I went through a rough patch. Those of you who know me, know me. See what I'm saying? So, it's a whole different ballgame. Do I plan on getting married anytime soon in the future? It's not in my plans because my plans are not his plans. You know what I'm saying? But where I'm at now. It's more like Lauren said, that freedom. Like, I didn't have my 20s. I got married at 21, so I'll be 30 in a couple months. So now it's like, hey, y'all, what y'all doing? We finna go where? Oh, I'll be in my bed this weekend. Don't worry, I'll pull up after work. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm enjoying it. So do I hate what happened? Yeah. And does that change my perspective on, like Lauren said, I love you, but what you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like, where we gonna go? Where we gonna be at? What we gonna build? What are we gonna build out of this? What is this business license going to contribute or profit? And I'm done.
That's good.
Let me ask y'all this, because I get into this conversation with a lot of old folks, and old people tend to bring up y'all know what I'm talking about. You go somewhere and, hey, you ain't married yet? You ain't got no kids? None of that. I feel like a lot of people have this warped view of marriage because of that pressure. I feel like, and I hate to classify it as this, but I feel like it's a generational curse, because I felt like back then this was a tactic for survival. In like the 40s, 50s, and 60s, we were just trying to make it. But now we're kind of established. We got Black businesses, we got Black banks, we got independent family. I've seen single parent dads, single parent moms out here making it, doing the damn thing. I don't think marriage holds the same weight that we used to give it. Like, I think everybody saw it as this spiritual binding contract, but can't be mixing church and state no more like that, bro. I'm just gonna keep it a bill. Like, this is a business contract, like DeAndre said. And true, that's cool that y'all in front of there with God and the tuxes and all that. But bruh, when we in at church and we in the bedroom arguing about why we can't afford formula, when we arguing about why the lights are off, when we arguing about, no, we made payment arrangements last month, I already took it. Nah, bruh, ain't no scripture for that. I'm just going to keep it a buck. So I think that's where you have to really look at the candidate you're talking to. When dating now, I'm not even going to say when dating, when talking now, I ask about financial literacy. I ask what you know about stocks. I ask what your goals are, what your plans are, where do you want to be in the future. It's cool to have the conversations about marriage, but how are we going to get there? How are we going to sustain? That's the purpose of me having those conversations now. And the reason I have those conversations now is because, and I've told this to a few of y'all here, everybody in my family who was married is divorced now. So I understand everybody asking me when Jeremy getting married, but y'all didn't do too hot. You know what I'm saying? So let me find Jeremy. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be 33 this year, and I'm cool with that. I'm part of the squad that hadn't been married, no kids, and I'm fine with that because I want to find myself. Because how can I relay how to love me properly if I don't know myself first? So that's my point on that. I'm gonna shut up for that.
Quick thing, that generational curse thing is true. I got married. I was 25 when I got married. My grandmother called us up to her house, and she was like, y'all been together for so long, and y'all are living together, and we just want to know when is the wedding. Like, she gave us a deadline. So by this time, in 90 days time, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to ask you, when is the wedding? So that actually got the thoughts going in. Okay, so she's right. We've been together for a long time. Yeah, we need to go ahead and get this done. So we married for love. I don't think I had like a shotgun wedding or anything like that, but it really did play a part in us getting married as quickly as we did. So I think another thing is we think once we get married, things will change. So you probably do know your mate, you know them, but because of the things you know, you think that the certificate, the wedding, the marriage is going to change. Nuh-uh. It doesn't change you. It's either going to, make you better, or if you're not talking about the situation, everything is going to stay the same or get worse. So the generational curse thing is true because they came. It was like a whole delegation seeing what time we was gonna get married and all of that. So yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Not only is it the generational thing, it's the church thing. For me, it was all right, now see y'all sitting in church together. Come see me after church. I want to talk to y'all. Okay. I love you. I'm your pastor and I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was that. You know what I'm saying? It was getting in the office. All right. Now, next thing you know, the pastor's wife come in, is like, oh, plot twist, where you come from, lady? You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, so we want to talk to y'all. We've been seeing y'all sitting in church. We've seen y'all holding hands. We've seen y'all on Facebook going out and stuff like that. Now, y'all know we be watching. You know what I'm saying? My pastor was real life. So what y'all gonna do? And the pressure was real. You know what I'm saying? I think it came to a point where my ex was finishing college, and her mom told her that when she finished college, she's gonna stop paying for her apartment. I had moved to Montgomery from Mobile. I just picked up and moved. And I'm living in Montgomery and I got a job and everything. And I'm like, look, if we get an apartment together, I'm not gonna put you in an apartment if we ain't married. Because that's all I heard growing up, being around the church.
Shacking.
Right. Dr. Yvonne Kennedy, Lord rest her soul. I grew up under her at my church. I'll never forget, I was looking for this apartment. And I called her because, of course, she was a state representative in Montgomery, so she knows Montgomery. I said, hey, Doc, an apartment around Montgomery? She said, yeah, I'll look up something. I'll send you a text. So I was like, okay, yes, ma'am. Got off the phone. 5 minutes, my phone rang. Oh, Brother Malcolm. I was like, yes, ma'am. Who is this apartment for? I said, for me and Courtney. She was like, yeah. We going down that road, right? Because we don't do that shacking stuff. I know your mama. I knew your mama now. Your mama wouldn't play that shack stuff. And that was another thing, man. Don't try to tell me what my mama would and wouldn't say. My mama did, man. I'm gone, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even to this day, I still be looking back like she gonna get me like, oh,
I hate to interrupt you, bro, but that's called manipulation at its finest.
Yeah. And that happened a lot. You know what I'm saying? So, and I guess because I respected her as much as I did, it was like, yes, ma'am. You know what I'm saying? But of course, it wasn't a decision to get married at that point. But in my mind, I felt like I was doing the right thing. Like, I'm not gonna put you in no place, and we're not married or whatever. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. So I have like two things, something that kind of people brought up about like marrying and thinking things will change. Like, I think sometimes people marry for potential, and like sometimes you got to be able to look at who they are, where they are right there. So my my son, he used to watch Frozen, and there was a part of of a song that they were talking about. Sometimes people do things because they think they're going to change, but people are really still the same. And that kind of resonated with me. So like, you still learn stuff from Disney movies. They still got it in there. But but as far as that, it was just that part, and I forgot the other part that I was going to talk about. But yeah, just marrying for potential is something that I had to learn to just take people how they are, where they are, and being able to say, okay, if they don't change from this point, am I going to still be able to accept or like their behavior or think that's something that I want to build my house on, that foundation. So it's just one of those things that, you just got to be able, like I said, I didn't think of it when I first got married as a business thing. Like I'm just like that romantic guy. Like I was like, man, anything that comes our way, we can be able to take it. And you do have to have that certain mentality to a certain extent. But in the same instance, like love does not conquer all. And that's one of those things that, they do tell you that you can do this and love will conquer all. Now, love can't conquer this bill. Like you can't pay on love. So it's one of those things where you have to be able to be realistic. And, there is a certain spiritual aspect of being able to just give yourself to somebody, but that's just another aspect, just like business, just like the sex part, just like the communication part, all of those things because you can be able to find somebody that has better qualities that you need in a relationship. And y'all can work on the other stuff, but y'all have to, like you said, have that top 5 or top 10 list that's going to be able to be like, okay, these are my must-haves in that relationship. And I remember the one time, like when Will Smith first started to get on like social media, and he was talking about how like you got to find somebody that enhances your happiness. Like, so they're not there to make you happy. They're here to add to what you're trying to do. And that was one of the things, like through my divorce and things like that I found that I need to find somebody that enhances that, because you can't make somebody who's not happy. They're gonna stay in that rut until that point. But you need to be able to look and find what that you're happy first of all, because I think a lot of times people either look to change other people or look to be changed by other people, and it comes to a point where you have to be able to recognize within yourself who you are and what you like and what you don't like, because there's some people that try to marry. If you're a freak, you can't marry like a super, super churchy girl who doesn't want to do any of that stuff. It doesn't work that way. You're going to be upset. She's going to be upset. And y'all just going to be unhappy. So you just need to be honest with what you like and what you don't like. If you like that freaky girl, then go get the freaky girl that still has the same kind of, stuff that you like. So, that's, sex isn't the only part of it, but you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, that was it.
I definitely agree. It actually was a different thing about the generational curse for me. Everybody that's in like the older generation of my family, everybody's still married, or like their partner maybe have passed away. But as far as my immediate family, nobody's married. It's all women, all single women, or, I know for once my grandma, her fiance passed away, before I was born. So my grandma just she's like heartbroken, I guess. She's never found anybody else, or tried. And then just like my aunts and my mom and stuff, everybody never was married, So for me, that was always a pressure. It was always a pressure, the whole shacking thing as well. Like you cannot shack. And I hate that actually got into my head, because me and my husband actually stayed together first. It was phenomenal. He was the first person I had ever stayed with, and we moved in like 4 months into our relationship. We didn't have any issues. But the moment I kept hearing that shacking from the church and from my family, I started to pressure, babe, we got to get married. Like, this is not what we're going to do. I can't do this. This is, and he's like, he already wanted to marry me. He took me like ring shopping, like within our first beginning of our relationship. And I was like, there's something wrong with him. But that's neither here nor there. But So I was pressuring him, and I'm like, damn, like, I think, like, even now, I think, why did I do that? Because we were so good. And then we were in marriage counseling, and we basically separated. Like, we left our apartment. He went to, got him an apartment, and I went back to my mom's or whatever. And I'm like, why did we do that? You know, when we get the marriage counseling, he's like, oh, well, y'all should have stayed together and we could have worked it. I'm like, bro, like, you just keep preaching about this whole shacking thing. So I was livid because it was like when we got back when we got married and we got our new apartment, we had to relearn each other all over again. You know, the habits, the things that Wyatt said, like, you know, can I deal with this? Can I not deal with this? And it was like the hardest thing for me because we were together, but when we moved in from 4 months to like 2 years, I guess, or a year and a half before we separated, and we were fine. You know, but I allowed the manipulation, the shacking, all of that stuff, the generational curse, all of that stuff to play in my head over and over and over until I forced him. Well, I felt like I forced him. He still ain't doing it until he was ready. But I felt like I put it in his head, you know, and put it at the front of his brain, I guess. And for me, I still think back to this day, like, damn, like, why I do that? Because like y'all said, like, I knew that we could handle the bills and stuff, but we had already went through the nitty gritty, like, okay, this light finna get cut off. We had already went through that. You know what I'm saying? So I allowed myself to listen to everybody else when it came to that, which was a never thing. I was doing it subconsciously and didn't even know it. You know, I didn't realize that I had that stuff was playing in my head because I don't really care nobody else think. But I didn't realize that I had did that until y'all kind of just brought it up. I'm like, damn, that's what I was doing too. But yeah, for me, it's a whole learning curve for me because like I told you, I don't like nobody in my space, you know? So I had to relearn how to do everything all over again. The cooking, the cleaning up, girl, I was just, child. But, you know, well, I don't even want to take it back. Y'all, just think about it. But yeah, so, for me, I realized that, I listen to people like y'all did, you know, and I look at divorce all the time. That'd be the first thing I say, you want to get a divorce? Because I can't do these. You know, that'd be the first thing that I say. And he's like, bro, like, do you want a divorce for real? Because you keep bringing this shit up, you know? But for me, like I told you, I'm a runner. So now I hear divorce, divorce, divorce. Everybody getting divorced before this, you know, before 30. That shit is really around me. Like, everybody, ain't nobody making it, you know? So it's like scary. Like, okay, do I fight this? Or do I stay in something longer than I should? Or, you know, is this just something petty that I'm getting mad about? You know what I'm saying? So it's a growing aspect. So we really growing together as well. So I had to learn the whole communication and all that stuff, y'all. So pray for me.
Anybody else have another point or anything?
So I had the ultimate bachelor pad when I was like younger, like years ago. And you know, my girl asked to stay with me for 2 weeks while they remodeled the bathroom, and she just moved in. Like, I've been stuck with her ass ever since. So that's just life. But no, I had so many thoughts while everybody was talking earlier, and it's kind of just I kind of drew a blank. I can't believe that. But seriously, just talking about the sense of shacking, because y'all was talking about shacking earlier. I'm gonna be real with you. I thank God that I didn't have traditional parents. You know, my parents just wanted to see me happy, and that's all that really mattered to them. I think that as much pressure as people get from the church to not shack or to not do this and to not do that, I almost refuse to get married to somebody that I haven't lived with for at least a year, because of the fact that I feel like I need to know what your hygiene habits are like. I need to know what your mannerisms are like. I need to know about all of this shit before we decide to say I do. Because what if I don't? What if it's just something about what you got going on and I just don't? I don't mess with it. I can't deal with it. None of that. I can't deal with it. Don't get me wrong. I like my space too, but I love my girl and I love to be around her. But I hate that narrative that, you know, well, y'all ain't supposed to be together. Damn all that, because of the fact that I need to know what you act like. Like, do you snore? Like, you know, we might just get together and, you know, we might have our little moments. But if you go home every night after that, I really don't know how you sleep. I don't know none of your habits. I can't get to know you the way that I really need to get to know you to see if I want to get married. Two, Malcolm said something earlier when he was talking about, you know, the apartment and besides the checking and just another thing, talk about pressure from the church. I have never been pressured from my family whatsoever to get married. You know, she's never been pressured, to my knowledge, you know what I'm saying, to get married. But I will never forget this, and this has stuck with me for the last 3 years. I was at my grandmother's repast, and a lady from the church came up to me and said, when you gonna get married or have some kids or something so somebody can see them? And that had to be the most disrespectful thing that I have ever encountered in my entire life, for the sole purpose of my mom and my dad had already passed. I was super close to my grandmother, and you got the nerve to say this at her repast? Like, bro, we on church ground. I swear, if I wouldn't have been on church grounds that day, oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't believe it. You know, I don't hit people. Despite, you know, Valencia had some jokes earlier. You know, but I'd have probably cussed her out. Straight up.
Baptized.
Because old folks think they can be disrespectful, and you just got to be respectful back. Nah, bro, I'm going to talk to you the way you talk to me, Lauren Stupid. But, yeah, I just wanted to, like, you know, touch on that. I think that too often that's what happened. People cave into this peer pressure, whether it be from friends that they see getting married or having kids, and they see this life, and it's like, oh, well, I need this, or I want this, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. No, it's like their story isn't our story. So let us do what we're supposed to do. Let us do what we need to do, because, you know, I got plans, you got plans. Let's put our plans together. And once again, business. Let's get this together so that when we do decide to get married, and when we do decide to have kids, and we decide to do all of this stuff that couples are supposed to do, we are well established so that we're not struggling. And don't get me wrong, you bound to go through a few things or whatever. You gonna have your ups and downs, whether it be relationship, marriage, whatever the case may be. But all it boils down to is just being one with one another and just Xing out all the noise that's around you, man. So that's what I got to say on that.
So basically what you're saying is fuck what they talking about. That's what I got out of that.
Yeah, that's the short version. Fuck them. Fuck them, girl. Fuck them. Fuck them, girl. Fuck them.
Oh, goodness. Let me ask y'all this, because this was an excellent conversation. We talked about top 3, top 4, whatever, top 6 in some cases. If you had to choose your number 1, what would it be? And I'll even go first. I choose stability first. Every day, all day, twice on Sunday and Monday. Even on Memorial Day and Veterans Day shit. Stability, car. So what about y'all?
I'm going to go with number 1, honesty, because we can be stable, you can still be lying to. That's all.
I'm going to say trust. Trust is important. Kind of goes hand in hand with Malcolm talking about. I feel like if you can trust somebody, you trust them completely, not just, you know, oh, I don't want you to cheat on me. No, I mean, I need to trust you financially. Are you fiscally responsible? Are you emotionally responsible? All of those things are a part of trust. So trust is number 1 for me.
All right, ladies, y'all up.
All right, I would have to say dependability. I'm 35, so I'm full and grown at this point. Full and grown. Hey, 35. So too many times I had to hold the bag. You know what I'm saying? So I'm supposed to be the wife. I'm supposed to be able to, support you. But you leave me high and dry, So when things get tough or it's something that you don't like, you get uncomfortable, you up and go. No, I need somebody who is 10 toes down, ready for me, dependability over love any day of the week.
It gotta be a word that got all this stuff in it, because that's the word I need. Because like, for real, like, that is a big, trust is like number one for me. Like, I don't like liars. When he said you got to be honest, and people lie about like small things, so that, and he said stability, that's huge, so, and then dependability. Girl, what you say? See, like I said, I was in this single mom game for a minute, so I was a hustler by nature. I take 10 jobs and be good, so when I became a wife, I'm sitting down. Like, what you mean? So, and that's what I've been doing since we got married. So thank you, Lord, for that. But I'm just saying, like, dependability, everything that y'all said, I wish it was just one word that described all of it, because that's exactly what I need. For sure.
I'm gonna say consistency. It kind of engulfs all those things, because like it's just something where if you can be able to, I know what you're going to do, you know what I mean, and that you know what I'm going to do. That way you can plan without even having to necessarily speak on certain things, but consistency is definitely key for me.
Okay, so I would say character, because if you have good character, you already know morally what's correct, who's due respect, which we all are. But if your character is flawed, then anything goes. You'll do anything. So I pick character, because if you have good character, I can depend on you when I'm not around. It's always going to be me that you're thinking about in a relationship. It's all going to be me that you're thinking about before you do something, because when I'm in a relationship, I'm not hawking you down. I'm not doing, the extra. I'm not popping up. I'm not pulling up. So I feel like, if you got good character, everything else falls in line with that. I know you're going to put love first, or contradictory to what we're saying, but you're going to put how you feel and what you know morally to be correct, and how you treat someone with decent, common decency. Like, you're going to consider all of that if you got good character. Now, if you somebody who, you get with a different group of people and you start lying, or, you change how you are with everybody, then your character is flawed. It's not the same. So you're not going to be the same person with me married at home together that you're going to be out with your friends. I'm not going to be able to depend on you to do what you're supposed to do morally. That's correct. So I choose that character, good character.
All right. Well, that was an amazing conversation. I want to thank all of you for coming out and taking your time out of your nights to do this. I really appreciate y'all more than y'all know, because these conversations are not only therapeutic, but I feel like they're enlightening, because a lot of people who listen to us definitely reach back out, throwing out ideas, or they've even wanted to pick certain people's brains. And I'm just like, look, you DM them. Don't ask me, because I ain't going to tell you shit. Straight up. I'm not doing that. I'm not that guy. But I appreciate you guys all again for your points. And to make it interesting, to close this out, I find it interesting that we all have something different to say. I really think that shows the importance of communication. Because at first, I'm not going to lie, I thought all the guys were going to say the same thing, and I thought all the women were going to say the same thing. And that wasn't the case here. So it literally is different per person. So for every fish in the sea, there's probably a different priority. So it goes to show that that cookie cutter method BS from the past won't necessarily work here anymore. This is a different world, a different time. So yeah. But that's been it. This has been Squad Goals. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we out, big. Y'all are dope, cuz I just want y'all to know that.